everyone. Ako po si Jerry De Los Santos.
At ako naman po si Danica Amor M. Domingo. Hello once again to our watchers and viewers. Kamusta po tayong lahat? Ito na naman po tayo sa bagong episode ng Patok, usapang public affairs at development. Dito ay aming tinatalakay ang ilan sa mga importanteng issue patungkol sa governance at development. Aming ding pinag-uusapan ng ilan sa mga teorya at resulta ng aming mga ginagawang research. However, we have momentarily changed the format of our program to give way for the upcoming 25th anniversary celebration of our home unit, none other than the College of Public Affairs and Development of UP Los Baños. For a while now, as part of our anniversary celebration, we have been featuring people who have witnessed the ups and downs of our college.
As you may know, CPAf was established on January 29, 1998, and we have been talking with people who had played a big part in bringing CPAf to where it is now. This is now our second to the last episode for the PA-TALK CPAf Anniversary Series. And if you are watching or listening right now, we thank you for sticking with us in hearing the experiences of the former deans of CPAf. We hope you have been learning much about what CPAf is all about. For today's episode of PA-TALK CPAf Anniversary Series, we will be featuring one of the longest-serving deans of the college, leading our institution for 2 separate terms. First, from December 2003 until November 2006, and then the second, he served from August 2018 to October 2020. Currently, aside from teaching at CPAf, our distinguished guest today is also serving as the Vice Chancellor for Administration of UP Los Baños. So hindi ko na patatagalin pa, let us welcome Vice Chancellor Rolando T. Bello.
Yeah.
Magandang araw po, sir.
Magandang araw din.
Magandang araw po, sir. Kamusta po kayo?
Okay lang.
Okay, sir. So, simulan na po namin, sir, ang
Busy
mga
pa rin.
questions po namin. Kaya nga po, sir, eh.
If busy, I busy.
Busy, kaya nga busy ang tawag eh.
Ayun po, sir. So, for our very first question po, is how would you describe po si PAF when you first started your deanship po during your first term in 2003? And how did it differ during your second term po in 2018 to 2020?
Well, during my first term, actually before my first term, I was OIC Dean for about 6 months. So, but my first term was quite rocky at the start because it was unusual in the sense that I was one of the youngest faculty back then. I was still an assistant professor, and then I was an ABD, so all but dissertation. So in terms of I might be quite young by then by standards of an administrator, but and then of course as the youngest, there were about 30 faculty members then. So, but I've been an associate dean also. So I was the last associate dean of the College of Public Affairs. After that, the number was reduced so that the number of faculty members does not qualify for an associate dean. So during my term as my first term as dean, there was no longer an associate dean but an assistant to the dean. So because of the reduced number of faculty members. So so I said that it was quite rocky in the start because there was some changes in the administration. So I think I was the choice of being my dean was because I was young. I had no affiliation. I was quite in a sense, uh, because CPAp came from different units.
Right, right.
So it's a melding of different traditional units in the university. So there are a number of, I would say, some factions that culturally they're different. So it's what's quite difficult to integrate those disparate units into one whole college. So there were some tensions along the way, but since I was young, I had no probably uh, long-standing connections with other with those factions, so to speak.
Mhm.
And maybe it was a strength by itself that I was quite uh, uh, young, and then it was probably one way to unify the college because I was not part of any faction back then. So yeah, that was the first term. But during the second term, I think I've grown matured enough to handle uh, the vicissitudes of being a administrator. So I think that's no, the the quite the no, the distinct
All
uh,
right.
difference between the two terms.
Mhm. I see. Sir, I remember during our interview with Dean Liborio Cabanilla, and also I think it was Dr. Santillana. They were really able to mention that one of the challenges before are yung bringing people together, because you came from CPAF came from various units that was conglomerated or consolidated into into one
One
college.
college.
And parang nagigets ko, sir, na talagang magkakaroon din ng, aside from dun sa what you say, the tension that is already present at the time, there's of course this uncomfortability of maybe going out of your unit na naging comfort zone nila and talking to other people. Sir, yung situation on first term mo, what was your plans or vision back then for SIPAF? And then when you came into as a dean nung second term naman, that you have said na you are more mature as an administrator already, what were your plans also during the second term? So basically, what were your plans and visions during the first term, and then what are your plans and visions then for the second term?
During the first term, it was as you said, the first few years of CPAP. So it was really trying to pursue the new program that we had, the Master of Public Affairs
Yes.
program,
Mhm.
which was so I would say the unifying program for CPAP. So it was new, so we had to nurture that program in relation to the traditional programs that we had. So that program was seen to unify the college as College of Public Affairs. So it was supposedly the anchor program to integrate all these different programs of the college. So, but also in terms of research, uh, it was quite disparate again because of the various fields of discipline to
Mhm.
which the faculty belong. So remember that many are economists, other are sociologists, extension personnel. So it's really coming from different backgrounds. So what we were trying to do is come up with a unifying program, so to speak, so that the CPAP can move ahead and be known for a distinct program of itself. So uh, those are those are the some of the plans we had to and then of course as far as the administration back then, we were expected to come up with some the usual infrastructure development. Since it's quite new, then you have to build the infrastructures, both the social and the physical infrastructure for the college, be able to forge ahead. So, but on my second term, the chancellor then was focused on putting up the necessary infrastructure to modernize our facilities, our curriculum, etc. So there are a number of gaps that we had to pursue so that we can again provide the necessary facilities, the necessary programs for the CPAf.
Okay.
Opo, sir. Sir, naka-2 terms po kayo, right? So I assume with all the plans and ayun nga po, the objectives of that you had before you started your deanship, of course, sir, there were the challenges po na na-encounter po ninyo. Sir, what were the challenges that you have encountered aside po from the yun nga po yung nabanggit na po na problem even before po nila Dean Levy and Dr. Santillana na there were people coming from different units, so medyo matagal po na integrate po lahat, so there was a challenge po there. Was it still a challenge po, sir, during during your first term? And what were the other issues that you have encountered po? And were there any other challenges na present na po siya during the first term but you still encountered it during your second term?
Oh, well, one of the challenges then was that maybe it's quite apparent back then, but we were not the apple of the eye, so to speak, by the higher administration. I have to put it that way. So you have to, dance with the tune, so to speak, and that. So I had to present a united front for CPAf, at the same time being able to follow the trends, so to speak, or the demands of higher administration. That was during that initial early periods of CPAf. But in the I think I was the second during that. My second term was during the 25th anniversary of CPAf. So it has 2 decades has passed, and I think we were quite already in a stage where we can be more, which we can be. I suppose the tension has subsided. That we were able to push forward with our own programs, since, well, some of the old faculty members have retired or separated from service. So, and the cultural divide, so to speak, has been minimized with new faculty members coming in. So I think the cohesion was much better during my second term.
Sir, let me just ask you a few more things about dun sa challenges that you had during the first term and the second term. Would you say that in 20 years of CPAf during your term, would you say that CPAf has matured? I mean, well, you have already mentioned na minimize po yung cultural divide, there's better cohesion among the staff. But will you be able to say na si CPAf actually nag-grow siya, nag-mature siya, na-develop siya?
Certainly, there were developments and bright developments for CPAP. So admittedly, there are some constraints, and I think that's usual for any organization. But now CPAP is in a better position to, as I said, forge ahead and come up with more innovative programs in tune with the demands of the times.
I see.
So I think with younger faculty coming in, younger research staff with really bright potentials to excel, I think it's a matter of trying to coordinate, make the best things happen. So finding ways, sorry BDO, sorry BPI, but these are some of the things that but with new younger blood, I think I'm very hopeful that CPAP can see much better days ahead.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Maasahan niyo po kami dyan, sir.
Si Danica po yung exact example nung binabanggit niyo. So anyway, sir, ayan, nabanggit niyo yung sa challenges. How about accomplishments? What can you say were your significant or important accomplishments at the time of your first term and second term in terms of instruction, research, public service, and maybe infrastructure po?
My first term, fortunately, the higher administration, as I said, was quite helpful on my part to be able to push for certain improvements in the physical facilities. We had a new building, but and of course the ARI is an old building. So there were a lot of facilities that had to be acquired, had to be procured. So I was able to do that. Chancellor David then was quite supportive of my requests for him to, despite the fact that there were some constraints to that. But I think on the whole, it was quite supportive of CPAP in some sense, I think. So some of the requests that we made were readily granted. So I think that's one, maybe because, being a more neutral person in the whole scheme of things of CPAP, I think that was the, I should say, some of the positive or advantage on my part. I was able to deal much better with the chancellor back then. But in the second term, I think we had a lot of innovations. We had the first international conference on governance
And
development.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and then we hosted another international conference, the AFC. Yeah. So these were first time for CPAP that we were able to pursue during my term, and now it's going to the third
Yes.
IGCD. So I think this pattern has been put in place, and then I was able to also generate some resources for CPAP through the we had a CPAP building had a generator have uh, how should I put it, a genset building. When it was constructed, it was a genset site, but
Ah,
no genset available. So I was able to acquire an old genset from the UP College of Law through the courtesy of now President Danilo Concepcion and former Dean Fides Cordero Tan of the UP College of that that we can use in cases of power outages. And then I was able to acquire a second-hand vehicle that's now still being used by the college,
yes.
uh, despite the fact that we had rundown vehicles that are very
Mm,
difficult to maintain.
right.
So, and then now, well, of course, now as Vice Chancellor, we were able to acquire brand new vehicles that we were not able to acquire for so many years. Actually, I
Yes, sir.
suppose for more than since the birth of CPAP, um, I think this is the first time that we were able to acquire a brand new vehicle.
Oo nga, no?
Opo, sobrang tanda na po ata nung bahay dating
Yeah.
pinalitan ng mga sasakyan, no, sir?
Either those are hand-me-down vehicles from Erie.
Mm.
And then, of course, the vehicle in CIS is about since 1990. It's about 40 years old na.
Oo nga po, sir.
Uh,
Kailangan na rin siyang palitan. Anyway.
Pagpahingahin na po.
oo.
Opo. Sir, with all the accomplishments or with all the things that you have done, finished po, what do you think po were the most significant or most memorable po for you in both terms po?
Well, the physical facilities are there. But what is more important is how you have developed the people that would man CPAP. So I think and this I've been saying to Chancellor Camacho, the most important asset that we have are our
Yun.
faculty and researchers, including the admin staff.
Mhm.
So I think you, as an administrator, I think I have done something to uplift the career path of our faculty members, and I think that's for me it's the most important asset that we have: faculty development, staff development. That the the infrastructure would be secondary to that. And then, of course, along the way, we had the PhD in development studies that Chancellor Camacho, who was graduate school dean, really supported. When I was dean, Chancellor Camacho probably, I'm not saying that, but we were probably the closest deans during that time. So in developing the PhD development studies, Chancellor Dean Camacho then was very supportive of our program. So and I was giving him some inputs on how to help out in promoting the PhD development studies.
Wow. Yes. And now, sir, na Vice Chancellor ka na, no, for administration, what do you think were the greatest lessons that you've learned as the Dean of CPAf that ngayon mo nakikita na buti na lang natutunan ko to nung Dean ako, and it helps you a lot as a Vice Chancellor now?
Well, as Vice Chancellor, you have to be, you have to know the rules. We are a rule based. I mean, people will tend to downgrade the bureaucracy. But in government, you cannot avoid being a bureaucrat because that's the demands of government. But one thing I learned during my first term was to be a stickler for rules, because that's how you become fair. If uh, you don't follow the rules, then you tend to be arbitrary in your decision making. If you become arbitrary, then you become relatively unfair to people, because you dispense, as administrator, you can dispense privileges, etc., etc. But if you don't follow the rules, then you can dispense a favor for one at the expense of the other. So uh, that's one of the learnings that I learned from Chancellor Tabid. And then as as a administrator, over time, one thing that I think that administrator should be fair, and fairness presupposes that you know the rules, so that you can apply the rules uh, consistently and fairly.
Wow.
Yes, that's a very good message po, sir. Be fair. But okay na po sana yung message, sir. But we would like to ask, what is your message to current staff of the college po? The new and young faculty, the reps, the administrative staff po. Ano pong message po, sir, ninyo po? Para po sa amin.
Uh, I think we have to be attuned with what's ongoing. There's a lot of things. Life has been complicated. It's become more complicated. Well, it has been complicated then, but the pace of the pace where which changes have been happening, it's a nag-ano yan eh, nag-triple, nag-quadruple. So we should be I think we should be able to adapt to the various changes in our environment, in the academic environment, in many things actually. So one of the is we have to be um, flexible enough to be able to meet the complexities and the ever-changing environment. What I can is for CPAp to be more open-minded, to be uh, to listen to the ground. I mean, I would suppose you would how should I put it? Keep your ears on the ground so that you be able to listen well. Okay. Um, Actually, taking from the homily of Father Tito Paluwag, which he constantly uh, uh, we should see clearly, choose well, and act right. So these are it has been uh, this has really this statement of coming from Father Tito Paluwag has struck me. So it's the ability to see clearly what's happening around, and then choose well uh, on the basis of your values, and act right.
Yes. That's a very good message, sir. Especially we are
Yes,
called as the College of Public Affairs and Development. So
definitely.
as the people of public affairs, we have to open open our eyes and ears to everything that is going on around us. We have to see clearly, choose well, and act right. O,
Yeah.
diba? Opo,
Mhm.
tama.
And very important yung sinabi ni Sir kasi 'di ba we're actually work as CPAF, we're actually working on the ground, going to the
Yes,
communities.
opo.
If we don't listen, we will not be able to even address kung ano man yung development challenges na meron sila doon.
Yes,
And
tama po.
so sir, given the things that you have said to us and hopefully marinig to at mapakinggan ng mga staff natin and faculty sa CPAf, let's now go forward. How do you see CPAF maybe 5 years or 10 years from now? How do you visualize what will CPAF be?
CPAP, this has been the marching order of the Chancellor. I think CPAP will have its own undergraduate degree program because we don't have an undergraduate degree program. I think it's about time that CPAP come up with its own undergraduate degree program so that this becomes the feeder to our postgraduate programs. So it's very difficult for a college to remain as a postgraduate program.
Yes.
Yes.
CESAM, the Dean of CESAM and the Dean of CPAf, I would say are parang saling pusa, no? Because technically the admission and the graduation of students are with the graduate school. Kasi it's the graduate school dean that signs the diploma of the it's not the Dean of CPAf nor the Dean of the CESAM. So admissions, you have to go, while we evaluate the admissions are being handled by the graduate school. So these are two important actions of a college that is not available to the Dean of CPAf nor the Dean of the college, CESAM rather. So I think, but as you know, I would like to see CPAf having its own undergraduate program.
All right.
So that's a major shift from the past 25
years, sir.
years. So eventually, we have to grow as a college through its undergraduate program. And given the what we had in the PhD development studies, I think that strength can be replicated in the undergraduate programs.
For the undergraduate program. Tama
Right.
po.
Whatever that may be, but it could be a BS development studies program. But the elements are there. The strength of the faculty is there. It may not be so clear at this time, but we had our researchers can be our past and current researchers can be useful in strengthening the undergraduate program. Just as it has helped our postgraduate programs.
Tama naman, sir. The idea is not so far-fetched po, I think. Siguro near future, pwede. Because we have the people naman po, so konting tweaking na lang po siguro.
That's right.
Yes po. I think we're on the right track naman, sir. But sir, now that we are towards the end of our interview na po and we are inching closer to the 25th anniversary of CPAf, so we would like to invite you, sir, to attend our celebration. This will be on January 31. The details will soon follow. I-invite po namin kayo, sir, of course. But sir, what is your closing message or anniversary greeting for the college po? Can we ask po for an anniversary greeting po from you?
Anniversary greeting. Well, I think 25 years is really a milestone. It's all in marriages. It's a significant milestone that many married couples celebrate, so the renewal of vows, etc.
Yes.
So I think the 25 years of CPAP, we can take a look back, renew our vows, so to speak, uh, and then lay down the uh, path towards the next 25 years of CPAP. So I think we have to thank those who have served in the past, one way or the other, who have somehow contributed to the development of the college. And there are many. So I think I'll be one of the originals of CPAP who would be fading away very soon. I'm probably a few of the remaining originals of CPAP will be fading soon. But I'm really hopeful and, uh, really looking forward to a CPAP that really stand uh, in the in this very complicated world.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much po. Sakto po siya sa team, sir. We have to honor the past, celebrate the present, to pave our future. O, di ba po?
I think
Pasok po sa team.
Yan. So Sir Roland, Vice Chancellor Roland Bello, maraming salamat po sa time mo na binigay para sa araw na ito and for allowing us to get to know what happened during your first term, your second term, and the lessons that you had. And thank you din, sir, sa message that you have for the current staff.
Opo. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you po for the time. Alam po namin super busy po kayo. So, thank you very much po.